Okay, so we've had a couple of people unsubscribe. Where are you going? We're just getting started.
Hi, I'm the Global Runner and I'm trying to see if I can still run fast aged 51. So far I've run a 16:01 5k, a 33:02 10k, and now the next step is trying to go under 2:30 in the marathon aged 51.
We are 6 days after the marathon and just gently getting back into it. I tried a 2-mile run on Wednesday, I think. I wasn't ready, that's all right. So I'm just in the gym, doing a few arm weights, core weights, and very light leg weights, and 45 minutes on the elliptical. That'll do, just gradually get back into it. It's weird not running. Hi, I'm the Global Runner, and last week I ran the New York City Marathon. And if you've been following along, you'll know that I'm 51 years old, and I had an ambitious aim of trying to be the fastest 50-year-old in the world, because it was the Abbott Majors World Championships or whatever it is. Aim of going under 2:30, and I failed in both. But as Taylor Swift would say, failure brings you freedom. So let's have a look at what happened, and let's have a look at the race, what happened on the day, how I feel about it, some of the thoughts I had about it, and what I'm going to do next. So what a great day. What a perfect day.
So are we ready? Yeah!
I didn't hit any of my targets. I wasn't the first in the over 50 category. I didn't hit 2:30. But what a great day. So the weather was absolutely perfect. A lot of people have said that the course is quite tricky, and it was quite tricky, but the weather made up for it. It was the perfect day. It was about 10 degrees and just sunny, but a bit of a chill. Almost no wind, but the only time there was a bit of wind, it was just a nice cooling breeze. It was just perfect weather. You couldn't have had better weather. So really happy with that. So of course, the extremely tall runner has also been part of this journey, and he ran a 2:42. He was happy with that. He ran a decent race. What did he say? He said he got the race he deserved rather than the one he wanted. But I think overall, everyone was extremely happy with the race. And then, of course, there was this guy who came third in the V50s and ran 2:34. So this is my mate. He's the extremely, I can't remember what I call him, but he's the nicest guy. 2:34, he's had some trauma in his build-up, but man, he killed it. You're a superstar, mate.
Yeah, thank you, Duncan. Thanks for the miles, buddy.
Oh, it's been...
Oh, that was special.
Pre-race, I have had issues with my HRV, and this has been a constant theme in all of my marathons. I tend to get sick before the marathon, and for whatever reason, my HRV on my watch, if you pay attention to this at all, just tanks. And the day of the race, I was showing this, strained, which is obviously not what you want to be seeing the day of a marathon. So obviously I tried to ignore it, but I really didn't feel great on the day. I woke up feeling like just off, just a bit rough, like a bit of a low-grade headache. My watch was telling me that my skin temperature was a bit higher than normal. Just felt off, didn't feel great. But what do? You take a load of caffeine and you see what you can do. But of course, can we really trust Garmin? Like, Garmin had me predicted at 2:41 before the marathon, and you should see the predicted graph. It goes along and then drops having run the marathon. Equally, the people I ran with had similar experiences where they were predicted way over the time they actually ended up running. So I don't know, we can take it all with a pinch of salt, but I'm trusting Garmin less and less, particularly when you go out for a half-hour run and your VO2 max numbers drop by 3 or 4 points. That always annoys me. So I take it, it's a data point, it's not perfect, but I'm relying on Garmin less and less nowadays. We set off and the race obviously goes straight up a hill. And so we were looking for the first mile to be relaxed, and I was running with 2 friends. And the aim was to go out sort of about 5:45 a mile pace, which is about 3:35 a kilometer. The first mile was not 5:45, it was 6:39. So that shows how big that hill was. But that was good. It was a gradual introduction to the race, and I think I needed that. One of the problems with majors is that you have this period of time at the start where you've got to get up at ridiculous o'clock, you've got to catch the bus super early, you then hang around. This time we had to hang around in the security queue for like over an hour waiting to get into the village. Then you're hanging around in a little area where you can't really warm up. Then you get walked to the start. So it's not great for warming up and being super ready to hit out a fast mile, first mile. So with that in mind, we made sure that we were relaxed going into that first mile. I was running with friends, I was really enjoying myself. It was great, really having fun. The point I would note though is that even the clocks helped us, because the clocks actually went back on Saturday night. So the 5:30 a.m. bus was actually the equivalent of 6:30 a.m. So that was really helpful. That was a massive help. It didn't mean that we were getting up at like 4 in the morning. We were actually getting up at 5 in the morning. So every little helps, I guess. Then I just sort of settled in, and I didn't want to force anything, but I settled in with some friends, and we were running about 5:55 a mile. And so the mile paces were about 10 seconds a mile too slow, which was fine. I wasn't panicking. I just wanted to make sure I felt okay at the end, because I knew this was going to be a tough day. And I had a couple of people who recognized me during the race, which was hilarious from the videos. And a couple of them asked how I was feeling. And I've looked back at the videos and I said to them, I'm not feeling my best, but hopefully I can pull it round. And that's exactly what happened. I went through halfway in 78 minutes exactly, and was already thinking that it just wasn't going to be my day. And I was worried that I wasn't going to break 2:40. As it turned out, I ran the second half the same as the first half, and the second half is actually significantly more hilly than the first half. So I was happy with that. I started to feel good again about 15-mile mark when we got into First Avenue. I started to feel like maybe I should be okay here. And so I focused on relaxing up to mile 20. And then at about mile 20, I wasn't feeling 100%, but I knew I had to sort of put it out there at some point. So I tucked into a group for about 5 minutes and then sort of ran at the front of that group for a bit. And from miles like 21 to 26, I felt great. I was running with freedom, I was running with energy. You do feel a lot better when you run a marathon that way round, because a lot of people were struggling. There were a lot of people walking, a lot of people had cramp. And I was really operating at that point. I was feeling really good. So I finished probably the fastest miles of all the race, which leaves me wondering, like, did I play it too safe? And so there's always that concern when you finish a race and you feel good of, should I have gone earlier? Should I have gone harder? Maybe I just bottled it. Maybe I'm mentally weak. Maybe I could have gone out at the pace that I needed to and I just bottled it. Shoes, I've said it before, I'll say it again, you really can't go wrong nowadays. I ended up running in the Puma DV8 Nitro Elite 3, which were amazing, didn't have any regrets. Equally, I could easily have run in the Metaspeed Tokyo, which I thought, Metaspeed Edge Tokyo, which I have, which are amazing. And they're a lot lighter, but I ended up going with the comfort and the stability of the DV8 Nitro Elite 3s. The Extremely Tall Runner ran in the Adidas Pro 4s, and my other friend who ran 234 ran in the Puma R3s. So you really can't go wrong. I tried on the Adidas Pro Evo 2s at the expo, but at $500 US, I wasn't spending that. And the Asics Metaspeed Rays, which were super light and super soft. They were $300 US, so they could be a purchase in the future. I ran the New York City Marathon in 2006 and I ran 2:39, so 3 minutes slower than I ended up running the other day. And I probably ran in something like this. I mean, look at the stack on that. I haven't measured it, but it's probably like, I don't know what, 15 at most in the forefoot and 25 at most in the heel. No wonder we ended up being completely battered by the end of the marathon. The morning of the race, I tried to keep it as simple as I could and stick with what I know. So I got up and had a latte, which is what I usually do. And I was sat on the bus, I had a bagel with banana and peanut butter, which is what I ordinarily have. And then about an hour and a half before the race, I had one of those Morton solid bars. During the race, literally in the first mile, I took a cyst gel, which is 40 grams of carbs. And then from that point on, I was hitting the precision gels, which are 30 grams of carbs each time. I think I took another one around about the 45-minute mark, and then a caffeine one around about just before halfway. Then I grabbed a Morton off the course and thought, I'm getting my money's worth out of this race. So I took a Morton probably at about 15, 16 miles. I know it was about 12 miles because that's where the aid station was. And then I hit another caffeine gel, I think at about 16 to 18 miles. And that's all I can remember taking. So I didn't take a ton, but I hit it early. The other thing that I was doing in the first few miles was I had the Never Second drink with 250 mils. So that was about another 40 grams of carbs. So literally in the first probably 5K, I hit 80 grams of carbs. And that, along with the caffeine, I think, helped me in the latter part of the race. I'm sure about that. Overall, though, I am extremely happy with the performance. There's been a while there where we've not really got close to 240. We've not really got close to 230. We've done a 238, a 239, a 239. And while they're good times, they're not close to breaking 230. And this was the first time I'd got into a position where I feel like on a perfect day, I could have broken 230. If you take a bit of an account for the course, 236 probably is about maybe 233-ish. And then we are definitely in the time zone for breaking 230. So I think it was on the cards. I think I could have broken 230 that day. It wasn't my day. And so that's the real question is, how do I stop this? If anyone knows anything about HRV and why this keeps happening, let me know, I'm all ears. Ever since the race as well, it's got even worse. Like my HRV is the lowest it's ever been. It was 23 last night, which is really, really low for me. Normally, I'm in about the 50s. So don't know what's going on. I'm not worried about it. I'm not panicking or anything, but it's a strange phenomenon and I really don't know why it's happening. It'd be great if I could fix it. And if I can fix that, then watch out. So the plan, well, it's an interesting one. We have winter arriving in Canada. And so it's a tricky time of year to be doing any running. But I really feel like I've got a ton of good training behind me. And I don't feel beaten up by this marathon as much as I was thinking that I was going to be. And so the plan is hopefully to do the Houston Marathon. Now I can't get in. If anyone can get me in, please, please, please let me in. I've written to them and said, hey, is there any way I could get in? But I don't know. But the main marathon for next year, I think, is going to be the Gold Coast Marathon. And one of you suggested it. I have family who live in Australia, and already my nephew has said he's going to sign up and do it. So I think that's the plan, is to really hit the Gold Coast Marathon, which is July the 4th or 5th next year. So it'd be great to get a marathon or something big in before then, and then go and really hit the Gold Coast Marathon in July next year. So overall, New York was a blast. It was a super fun experience. I wouldn't change anything. I had a really good time. I ran with two really good friends for a lot of it. We lined up together, we started together, and it was just a super fun day. Perfect weather. The crowds were amazing. And it was great to see a ton of people out there. A ton of people came up and said hello, which is crazy. And even the extremely tall runner got recognized. Someone during the race ran up to him and said, "Hey, are you the extremely tall runner?" That makes my day. That's fantastic. So overall, 2:36, not quite where I was hoping for, but definitely a massive step in the right direction. So super happy with that. And onward to the next one, whatever that might be. So don't go anywhere. Next training block. I think I've learned a few things, and I think I need bigger mileage, and hopefully I can continue to tolerate the massive miles. And I'm really excited to see where this is going to go. And I genuinely believe that 2:30 is in my future. Sub 2:30. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Please resubscribe if you've unsubscribed. Don't forget to mash that like button, and I'll see you very soon.